You know, in the digital world, we've all been handed a microphone. But in an age of online mobs, legal threats, and, well, completely artificial reality, that microphone has never been more powerful or more dangerous. A single sentence, just one tweet, can literally change a life forever. To really get a handle on this, we've got to look at a story that became a huge cautionary tale for the entire world.
And it all starts with a woman named Justine Sacco, a PR executive from New York whose life, as you're about to see, became the perfect example of the internet's insane power. So, just before she gets on an 11-hour flight to Cape Town, she tweets this: "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." Now, it was a sharp, really poorly thought out joke. She probably chuckled, hit send, turned off her phone, and went to sleep, not thinking another thing about it. She posted it for her 170 Twitter followers. That's it. A tiny audience, right? But here's the thing. The internet does not care how big your audience is.
A journalist at Gawker saw the tweet, shared it, and it just exploded. By the end of that same month, her name had been Googled over 1.2 million times. And get this, companies like Google made hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad revenue from her public annihilation. So while Justine was totally unreachable 30,000 feet in the air, the internet was just dismantling her life, piece by piece. People were tracking her flight in real time. They even created the hashtag #HasJustineLandedYet to basically throw a party the moment she'd find out her career was toast. And when she finally did land, she was the #1 trending topic in the entire world. And, yep, she'd already been fired. I mean, the sheer speed and the scale of this public destruction is just staggering. It really shines a light on the huge, basically unregulated power of these platforms. And that just begs the question, what are the rules here? Who is governing all this?
To really understand how something like this can even happen, we need to look at the legal foundation of the internet. There's this one single law that pretty much shapes everything we see and say online. Okay, so the law at the very heart of all this is called Section 230. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It treats platforms like a public bulletin board, not a newspaper. That means sites like Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook are generally not legally on the hook for what their users post. And this creates a huge conflict. On one side, you have the argument that Section 230 is absolutely essential for free speech. Without it, platforms would have to censor everything just to avoid getting sued, which would basically kill public conversation. But on the other hand, the argument is that these platforms do not act like neutral forums. They restrict things, they rank content, they recommend what you see, which sounds a lot more like a publisher who should be held responsible. And that's really the core of the problem. These social media giants, they effectively want it both ways. They want the legal immunity of a public space, but they also want the editorial power of a publisher. This legal gray area has created an environment where the rules are fuzzy and speech itself can be turned into a weapon. And because of this ambiguity, this gray area, the system itself is now being weaponized, both through the law and, more recently, through technology. One of the most powerful legal weapons is something called a SLAPP suit. It stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. But really, what they are nuisance lawsuits. They're not filed to be won, they're filed to intimidate and silence critics by just burying them in legal fees until they give up. The goal isn't justice, it's punishment. As one powerful figure bluntly put it about suing a journalist, "I did it to make his life miserable," which I'm happy about. So wealthy people and big corporations can use the legal system as a club to just drain the resources of anyone who speaks out, shutting them up without ever needing to win a case. And then you've got the technological weapons, which are even more unsettling. I'm talking about deepfakes or synthetic media. They use AI to create unbelievably realistic fake videos and audio. And the tech has gotten so good, it's starting to challenge our basic ability to believe what we see and hear. The way it works is just fascinatingly complex. An AI gets fed thousands of images of a target person until it learns to perfectly mimic their face, their expressions, even their voice. Then it can generate this digital puppet that can be mapped onto an actor, making it look and sound like the real person is saying or doing anything the creator wants them to. The potential for misuse here is just enormous. I mean, just imagine a fake video of a political candidate confessing to a crime right before an election, or a CEO announcing a fake bankruptcy just to crash the stock market.
This tech can be used for fraud, blackmail, and propaganda on a mind-boggling scale.
So, where does all this leave us? You and me, the users. We're kind of caught in the middle of this brand new, very confusing reality, where our speech is both infinitely free and, at the same time, dangerously weaponized. We've seen how a digital mob can destroy a person's life over a bad joke. We've seen how the fear of a lawsuit can silence public criticism. There's a very real danger here that as the risks of speaking out get bigger and bigger, the safest option is just to stay silent. And maybe the most profound threat of all is what deepfakes do to the very idea of truth. As the expert Nina Schick puts it, if everything can be faked, then anything can be denied. Think about that. A politician caught on tape saying something awful can now just claim it's a deepfake, and we might have no way of knowing for sure if they're lying.
So, when a digital mob can destroy a life in a matter of hours, when the legal system can be used to bully people into silence, and when our own eyes and ears can be completely deceived by AI, who's responsible? Is it the user who hits post, the platform that makes money from it all, or is it the society that has to live with the consequences? Answering that question, that might just be the defining challenge of our digital age.